What is up, guys? Welcome back to Chatter from the Cheap Seats. My name is Jack, and of course, I am joined as always by Sammy and Ori. We have an absolutely banging show for you guys today, and we're going to get right into the sports. But before we do, Ori, how are you doing?
Doing good. I'm finally back. I took a little vacation from the podcast, but I'm back now. For spring break, we went to Florida, which was really fun. Went up through Georgia, and I got this bucket hat. So if you're watching on the YouTube, you'll see it. But yeah, came back yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't even know. And I've just been chilling here. What about you, Sammy?
I'm doing good. Lots of baseball, whether it be watching baseball or getting out and playing baseball, because it's been gorgeous past few days here. So that's been good. But yeah, Cubs games just won the rubber game today against Pittsburgh. Kimbrel is looking pretty good. 2 straight good outings, which hasn't really happened in a while with him. So I'm doing very well. And besides that, just, playing baseball, spring break, just chilling, I guess. So, Jack, how are you doing?
Sammy, I am doing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I butchered the hell out of that.
That's a big word. I mean, I don't blame you.
That is a huge word. We are a word pod. We are students of the English language. And I'm at that point in my spring break where it's sort of like, okay, I got to start thinking about school. I got to start getting my sleep schedule back on track. Yeah. I have a driving lesson tomorrow at 9 a.m. So that's sort of like, okay, I got to wake up before when there's an 8 on the clock. When I wake up, I know I can't stay up late. That's when I got to lock down, got to go to bed before 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock around that point. And yeah, I've been doing great. Watched a fantastic basketball game last night, Sammy.
Was that last night?
That was it not? That was Saturday night. Yeah. We're recording this on Sunday.
Wow.
By the way.
What a game.
Yeah. That might be the best game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's the best college basketball game I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys are living under a giant rock, which, I'm sorry if you are, that's unfortunate, but, I hit my computer. But UCLA and Gonzaga had a battle for the ages last night, and it'll be 2 nights ago if you're watching this or listening on Monday. But 93-90, I think, was the final score. And, the beautiful, just legendary Jalen Suggs shot to clinch the victory in overtime. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better game. I mean, a lot of these close games I was talking about last night just on the phone. I was talking to Jack, and a lot of these close games are like 2 teams are either playing really bad defensively or they're just both failing to get shots, failing to get efficient shots up. But this game was not that. I mean, it was just high-level college basketball all the way around. Star power with Jalen Suggs, and you got Johnny Juzang, former Kentucky Wildcat, who has been an absolute beast for UCLA. And, what do you – I mean, we don't really cover too much college sports, but this was too much of an incredible game not to talk about. So what were your guys' thoughts? And I mean, how did you react when that shot went in, Jalen Suggs? I was just screaming for like 5 minutes, but just to let.
Yeah, I mean, I was going crazy. That whole game was just a masterpiece by UCLA. They played just basically a perfect game. Sadly, it was kind of that game that you were like, whoever's going to get the last possession is going to win.
Yeah,
that's exactly how it went. And it was crazy because I was watching all these videos of like UCLA fans reacting because I think there were like 5 seconds left, and
Juzang had that layup.
UCLA he missed a floater, and then he gets his rebound and puts it up. Tie game. There's like, I don't even know, like 1 second left.
Yeah, it was like 3 seconds left or something.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Like, 3 seconds left. 3.3.
I was like, it's going to double overtime.
Yeah, like UCLA fans were going crazy. And then Suggs hits the crazy game winner, and they're all shocked. And I was just screaming the whole time too. So.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I think it's a traumatic game if you're a UCLA fan, but for the rest of us, I mean, it's just a blast. Jack, what were some of your thoughts on that? I mean, what a game! Oh my god.
So we're coming off the Baylor-Houston game, which we all thought was going to be a pretty good game, but Baylor just demolished Houston.
Yeah,
They
it was
dismantled them early. So, we're kind of disappointed now because we think that Gonzaga is going to blow UCLA out, right? And I'm in my bed. This is probably the last 5 minutes because I was watching it, but I was sort of like, on my phone, scrolling through TikTok. But the last 10 minutes of the game, I was locked in, right? So I was on my computer, lying in my bed, and Johnny Juzang goes off, right? 45 minutes, 29 points. He is just making every single shot. Every time that UCLA needed a bucket, he came up big.
Yeah.
And we get down to that last few seconds, and we're all looking at it like, okay, UCLA, if they can make a bucket here, it's going to double overtime. That's it. It's going to double overtime. And I was originally thinking in my head, you have the ball with 19 seconds left. Why don't you push it? And if you don't make the shot, then you can foul. Wait for a good shot. But if you see an opportunity with time on the clock, go for it. Because then you're still going to have room to foul if you miss it. But they go for that last second shot. And he misses the first one. So immediately your reaction's because I don't know about you guys. I was sort of rooting for UCLA. I like the underdog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a little bit off topic, not really. A few years ago when Kentucky had their undefeated season, I was younger, a lot younger, but I was watching. We were on spring break in Arizona. It was the Kentucky-Wisconsin Final Four game, and Kentucky lost, and the undefeated season was over, and that was traumatic for young Sammy. So I did want to see the other undefeated team, the next one, lose in the Final Four, just like we did. But I mean,
although
UCLA couldn't have played better.
Have you ever met a Gonzaga fan? I feel like I've never met a Gonzaga
West
fan.
Coast.
Yeah.
The West Coast.
But still, when you're that good, you're gonna have fans all over. But anyway, back to the story now.
All right.
So immediately your reaction when he misses that shot is no. And you're no, but it lasts for a split second because he gets the rebound and lays it in for the tie. And now you're going crazy. You're double overtime. This game is incredible. This game is absolutely fantastic. And you always see at the end of the game when that guy gives that last second heave and you feel the pit in your stomach fall for 1 second.
Yeah.
And then you're okay, we're good. So there's 3 seconds left on the clock. You see Jalen Suggs, who wasn't, he had 16 points, but Drew Timme for Gonzaga was the real difference maker that entire game. 25 points, 11 from 15 from the field. But Jalen Suggs took over in that first overtime. He had that block and that amazing pass, that sequence of 10 seconds. And now he takes over with 3 seconds left. He's coming up the court. And you just think in your head, no. You're just thinking, no, he can't. No way. And he's coming up. And I actually thought that that Jalen Suggs shot it a little bit too soon. I think he could have taken an extra step. But, it was perfect. He shot
at the end of the day.
But,
yeah, and, you were talking about.
He shoots it, and, you see it traveling, and you're like, no, this can't go in. And it banks in, and he jumps up on the scorer's table. And you just immediately think to yourself, because you knew that he shot it with plenty of time left. It wasn't one of those things where you had to go back and see. It was you knew he got it off in plenty of time, but you still had to think. I don't know if it was because of the bank shot or what, but that can't count. You're looking around did that count?
Yeah.
Was that allowed? You're thinking of some rule that'll make that not count. And that was just an incredible shot. I had both hands over my head in awe, jaw straight down. Ori, where were you when this happened?
I was sitting on my beanbag, right? And I just had to, I jumped out I rolled and fell out my beanbag because I was just going so crazy. I was on the phone with my friend while this was happening, and it was just madness. I haven't seen a college game that good. I don't think ever, to be honest with you. that was just a perfect game from UCLA and just a slightly better game from Gonzaga. I mean, what can you say other than that? I would have loved to see a double overtime, but to see it go out like that is pretty cool too.
Yeah, and like I mean, there's people use the phrase unreal or unbelievable a lot. I think it gets overused. We hear it all the time. It's kind of synonymous with really great or whatever. But that moment was really unreal because, like Jack was saying, right? I mean, like we were kind of thinking, like, did that happen? Like, is there? That didn't happen, right? I mean, there's something that's gonna make that like not count. No, I mean that happened, and that's unreal. And as he hopped up in that scores table, right after, I mean, that is something that is going to go into history books for years. I mean, that's just a moment right there, and it's so cool when you're watching something live that is going to be remembered for decades and decades to come. And that was one of those moments, and I was glad to be watching that game. What a game! Now it's going to be Gonzaga and Baylor in the finals, which is going to be tomorrow night, or although it will probably be tonight for you guys listening. So that should be a fun one, and no way it's going to beat that game. If it does, then we're spoiled. But what a game, and so
Who
lucky.
you guys got in the finals?
Hmm?
Who you guys got in the finals? Gonzaga or
Oh, roll Zags, baby, roll Zags.
Yeah.
That was just such a surreal moment, and it was one of those things. It's like another one that I like to equate it to is that first day of summer where you're like, it's just so surreal. You can't believe summer's here, and I just feel like that shot. It's like when you hit it, you're like, that didn't go in. You're like, no, he didn't make that shot. Like that didn't go in. And another surreal thing is opening day, Sammy, and the first series of the year are finishing up. We're going to start off just giving a quick little recap of the series and what happened in the first, I'd say about 5 or 6 days of baseball here. So Blue Jays versus the Yankees. The Blue Jays won the series 2-1. Skinny Vlad, he looks amazing. He is hitting the ball, absolutely scorching it, hitting it so hard. Gary Sanchez, 2 home runs. Randall Grichuk starting off smoking hot. Moving on to the Indians versus the Tigers. The Tigers come up on top 2-1. Miguel Cabrera hits one out in the snow on opening day. He slides into second base because he doesn't realize the ball is gone. Matthew Boyd, who had the highest ERA in baseball last season, goes 5.2 innings, no earned runs. That's a good start for him. Moving on to the Twins versus the Brewers. The Brewers win the series 2-1. Game 2, Jose Barrios versus Corbin Burns, a pitching matchup for the ages. We will get to that a little bit later on. The Dodgers versus the Rockies. The Dodgers won the series 3-1. In Game 3, Zach McKinstry hits a go-ahead inside the park home run in the 8th inning. The Phillies swept the Braves, gave them a huge head start. Not huge, a head start in the NL East. We will get to that in a bit because that is surprising. That turned some heads. The Cubs over the Pirates 2-1 in the series. The Padres over the Diamondbacks 3-1 in the series. And Fernando Tatis Jr., 5 errors in his first 5 games. That is not what you want, as Joe Girardi said. The Reds over the Cardinals 2-1, and things got frisky as a brawl broke out between Yadier Molina and Nicholas Castellanos. The Royals beat the Rangers 2-1 in the series as the Super Bowl of the two teams that no one watches whatsoever. The Rays over the Marlins 2-1 in an absolutely classic pitching duel on opening day between Tyler Glasnow, who went 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, and Sandy Alcantara, who went 6 innings, 2 hits, and no earned runs. The Angels are leading the series 2-1. The 3-1. The 4th game is going on right now. Yermin Mercedes, they're beating the White Sox. Yermin Mercedes off to a hot start. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And a ball hit off Luis Robert's head. Oh no, what is going on? A routine infield pop-up. And then the final couple series, Astros swept the A's, Orioles swept the Red Sox, Giants over Mariners 2-1 in the series, and Nats-Mets postponed.
All right, yeah, and I'm so glad to have baseball back, watching all of these games, seeing, just fans back at regular. I mean, let's talk about that too. fans are back in ballparks. That is a good feeling. Because last year it was great. I'm glad we got a season last year. We were lucky to get one, but just seeing the empty ballparks, that was so depressing, especially Wrigley Field for me as a Cubs fan. I mean, the fans make Wrigley Field, and just the empty seats everywhere, it didn't feel right. And, even though it was reduced capacities in all ballparks played in this weekend, not in Globe Life Field, but they haven't played there yet. But it was just, it felt like a packed house. Fans were really riled up, happy to be back in parks, and that was the highlight of opening weekend for me. Just seeing the fans back in parks, and I'll probably be getting my vaccine in the next few months, and once I do, I will be back out at ballparks, seeing some baseball games. I guarantee it. So.
Yeah, I mean, having fans back is really, really cool. I wish we could get like major leaguers if they really because I know they were all wanting them back. I wonder if it really affects any of them now. But as a viewer, when I was watching, it's just awesome to see fans in the stands and not cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, I was done with the cardboard cutouts very early on.
Yeah, I was done. After I saw them in the first game, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. 2 weeks into the season, I was like, all right, get these guys out of here. Let's get real people in the stands.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, so let's get into some of the main talking points. Starting with Yerman Mercedes, who makes history going 8 for 8 to start off his rookie season. Jack, what do you have to say about this kid? He's insane, right?
I mean, what a way to start off your rookie season. 8 for 8. He hit a home run. It's just unbelievable start. It's what you dream of as a kid. And I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, 8 for 8's not sustainable production, but that's a way to kind of put yourself onto the stage, put yourself in the conversation of guys to be thought of. And, that's the best way to do it right there. Right off the bat, just absolutely torching these baseballs. And I'm very excited to see what he does. And, as a part of a White Sox team that is really looking to be very deep offensively, he could be a very scary threat because obviously he's not going to be your everyday catcher or your everyday DH, but he'll be able to sneak in there on days where people need an off day. And that's a valuable asset to have on your team, someone who, started the year 8 for 8. So we'll see how he keeps it up, but I mean, that's history right there. I don't think anyone expected that for sure. Moving on, hit my computer again. That's the second time this podcast. We had some sweeps. We had 3 of them so far. Phillies sweeping the Braves. O's, always happy about this one, sweeping the Red Sox. And the Astros, just a few hours ago, clinched the series sweep against the Oakland A's. Let's start with the Phillies and Braves because this was very interesting to me. The Phillies, who were one of the worst pitching teams last year, and their bullpen was the worst historically almost. I mean, it was historically bad. And they have opened the year. Let me just check here. Yeah. Let's see. They've only allowed 3 runs in these first 3 games. 12 hits.
Stat boy Sammy.
Stat boy. I got my stats. Very, very cool. Yeah. So, and that averages to per game only 1 run and 4 hits. And that's the Phillies. Not what I was expecting, but for Phillies fans, very encouraging because to pitch that well against a team like the Braves is a feat. The Braves were arguably the best offensive team in baseball last year. And the Phillies go in there and shock them with these great pitching performances. And the bullpen is looking incredible, which is, I never thought I would say that about Philadelphia. And yes, it's the first 3 games. I'm not trying to get too excited here, but this is the best start to the season that the Phillies could have asked for. Everything that was wrong last year is going right. You got your 3 big guys, Alvarado and Bradley, you both acquired this offseason, and Hector Neris, all pitching phenomenal through these first few games. So if I'm a Phillies fan, I'm very encouraged, and by those 3 games, not to make too much, not to make a mountain out of a molehill here, but um, they could definitely be a contender in this division. Rough start for the Braves. What do you guys have to say about Atlanta? I talked a lot about Philly, but I mean, this is a pretty rough start to the season for a team that was so good offensively last year. That's their thing.
Let's not overreact here. It's 3 games. Like, yes, if you're a Braves fan, you don't want to get swept. That is not ideal, but it's 3 games. The Braves are the best team in that division. I think they'll take control of that division sooner or later. But it is the thing that's I like about the Phillies is not that they swept the Braves because it's only 3 games, but if you dive a little bit deeper, that their bullpen, like you said, Sammy, was so good because that was the weak point in their team the past couple of seasons. And if their bullpen can just be a league average bullpen, as Shohei Ohtani just hit 101 on the radar gun, and he hits home runs too. Wow. If they can just be league average, then I mean, that's going to be a team that is going to be in contention for a playoff spot because their offense is good. Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Gene Segura, Didi, Alec Baum, big prospect. I really like the makeup of that team if their bullpen can be league average or just decent, just a decent team. And Ori, I bet you're happy about this. Your Baltimore Orioles have swept the Red Sox, which I don't know how impressive that really is because the Red Sox look awful to start the season, but you got to take moral victories when your team has a 0% chance to make the playoffs.
All right, this is the start of the 0% revenge tour. The Orioles are going to go around and whoop every single team because everyone was slacking on us going into the season, going into spring training, through spring training. And now they're seeing us unload. I mean, 3 games of just really beautiful baseball. You had game 1 go 3-0. John Means was a killer. And then today, we scored 11 runs off like 17 hits. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's a big-time offensive production. What'd you say, Sammy?
Not a good debut for Garrett Richards and the Red Sox. Not what you want. No. My Red Sox take of them winning 86 games.
That is such
not off to a good start. But hey, I still think this team is better than people think. But impressive for the Orioles to get off to the start. And I don't know. I feel like every year the Orioles get off to the best start. Like even dating back.
This is true. You make a good point because 2 years ago. We started off 7-0.
Yeah.
And we ended up with like 40 wins. So
yeah, like it's weird. Like every year I feel like it's like the Orioles have started off the season with the series sweep. I'm like, again, really? It's like deja vu. But I mean, impressive. I like how, day 1, you got your ace looking really good. And then, you got today's game, the offense explodes on Garrett Richards. So I think it's a very exciting start to the season. I don't think you should take too much out of it, but as an Orioles fan, right, I would imagine that you take what you can get. So
yeah, for sure. I think with this offense, with the I really like the front of this pitching rotation. So who knows, man? Maybe we'll string a few more wins, sneak into a wild card spot, make some noise. Who knows?
Who do you like? You said you really like the front. You have John Means and who else? Like what else is the front? Because one player is not the front. You need at least 2.
Okay. First of all, I hate the tone you're coming at me with.
I'm not coming at you.
With this
I'm coming at the Orioles. I'm coming at the Orioles.
No,
I love you.
Yeah, you're coming at me with some absolute Orioles slander. Listen.
It's not absolutely. It's not crazy. I'm not that aggressive.
Personally, you
want that can be arranged.
Well, anyway, today we saw Bruce Zimmerman pitch. He pitched really solidly, 6 innings, only allowed 3 runs. We just needed someone in there to eat innings, and he was really efficient. Through 5 innings, he only pitched 50 pitches, so he was really, really good. And then game 2 when we won 4-2, we had Matt Harvey pitch, he didn't look amazing. But with Matt Harvey, I think he's going to be decent at least. John Means we know is a killer.
His offense is
And Bruce
I mean,
Zimmerman
a
pitched well,
killer.
so
A
I'm
killer.
excited about this front.
Is he a killer? Garrett Cole is
John
a
Means?
killer.
I think John Means is
Jacob
underrated.
DeGrom
Everyone-
is a killer.
Talking about that changeup.
Giolito is a killer.
left-handed
Tom
changeup.
Means is good. He's good.
No. People are sleeping on him. That changeup is elite. Like,
I agree.
his changeup moves so much. It's got such great deception. I mean, this man, people are sleeping on him just because he's on the Orioles and just because he didn't have that great of a season last year. But you forget his rookie year, he got second place in Rookie of the Year voting. Like, this man is a killer, and he's going to show it this year. I'm really, really excited for him.
He's a fine pitcher. And
Let's talk about some other fine pitchers, right?
let's also talk about some other fine pitchers, Sammy. Let's talk about Jose Barrios versus Corbin Burns. They both had no hitters into what was it, the 6th inning?
Yeah, he's 6th inning. Yep.
I mean, that's incredible. Like,
Oh my.
I mean, has that ever been happened before?
I'm sure it's happened before. I mean, baseball, like the history of baseball spans back to like the 1800s. So I'm sure it's happened before, but pretty rare. I don't remember it happening in my lifetime. That is just ridiculous. And these are two teams who have sneaky good pitching staffs when you think about it, because I'm really talking about the front of these pitching staffs. Really, really good top level stuff, because this was the second game. These are both these teams' number 2 guys. And they are pitching like Cy Young candidates out there. Not saying they can sustain that, but these are two teams with really good front of the pitching staffs.
Well, who are the Twins'
Brewer.
#1 guy?
Kenta Maeda.
That's true.
Kenta Maeda, Jose Barrios for the Twins. And for the Brewers, you got Woodruff, who I love. I really like. Well, not as a Cubs fan necessarily, but just as a baseball fan, really love Brandon Woodruff. And Corbin Burns. I mean, these are two underrated rotations, without a doubt, because over the past few years, these are both teams that have had success, but not really because of the pitching. A lot of it has been due to the offense. They have stars. You got Yelich from Milwaukee, and then, guys like Buxton and Sano and all those fun guys in Minnesota. But this year, they both have great starting pitching staffs, especially at the front end of them. And it's really underrated. Maybe not anymore after these two guys just battled it out in one of the best pitching duels I've ever seen. But that was a game, and we'll be talking about it a little bit more later. But that was a fun one to just watch and kind of keep track of. Well, any thoughts for you guys on this game?
It was great. It was great.
Yeah, you summed it up really well, Sammy. Both guys to have no hitters, that's insane. Or going into the 6th, obviously they didn't complete the game, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. But other than that, we had some really, really exciting stuff with the Cardinals versus the Reds. We had benches clearing brawl. I love my baseball fights. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Jack's got his jab going. Yeah, I don't think anyone doesn't like it.
Fun to watch.
And it features Yadier Molina, one of the most legendary guys still in the league. So I don't know, who'd you think? Kind of explain the situation. I know that Castellanos, he's running into home plate. He prior to this game, he hit a home run and he was skipping and jogging and did a bat flip. And then later on, he gets plunked in the ribs. Looked intentional to me. I think it was intentional.
Yeah.
You think it wasn't?
No, I kind of think it was, but it's just it's we're never gonna know for sure. With any of those situations, in most cases, pitchers aren't I threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball at his head on purpose. Yeah, most pitchers aren't necessarily saying that, but
right.
It definitely could have been on purpose. I know after Castellanos got plunked, he asked Yachty, he's like, was that on purpose? And yeah, and I'm not John Boy here. I'm not going to try to be John Boy, but just briefly, Yachty's like, no, that was not on purpose. And then he kind of
what's he supposed to say? That's my thought.
Exactly. And
he's not going to say it's on purpose.
Here's what I'm going to say. I appreciate Castellanos, former Cub, still playing with the Cardinals, hating on the Cardinals. That's what we like. Even though he is still in the division, an enemy of the Cardinals is a friend of mine. So I'm on Castellanos' side here, obviously, but
Sammy, I
yeah.
gotta say, those are the best jerseys in baseball. Those Cardinals powder blue
Yeah,
jerseys.
that's true.
They're the best jerseys
As
in
much
baseball.
as I try to Cardinal slander here on this podcast, I can't slander
Some other
Cardinal
teams,
jerseys.
try the powder blue, the Blue Jays, the Phillies, the Rangers, the Braves. No other team does it like the Cardinals, man.
Yeah, the
That
Cardinals
blue
is the OG. Yeah.
and the red, it's just, oh my, and it's not even the fact that it's the OG. It's that if you picked someone that knew nothing about baseball and showed them these jerseys, they have no idea that the Cardinals did it first. They would pick the Cardinals to be the best every time. They are just the best powder blue. The colors work so well together, and oh my god, I mean,
I just did
Shohei Ohtani, Sammy, on
I
Sunday
have
Night
it on my
Baseball.
TV and I can't really see it. It's in the corner.
Shohei Ohtani
Did he hit a home run?
he just hit a 450-foot home run after throwing a 92
Oh.
after throwing a 92 mile an hour splitter that breaks a foot before the plate and an 101 mile an hour fastball.
All right, I got off for a few weeks, All
Are you
right,
on the Ohtani
I got
train?
off for a little bit, but I am back with that home run on the Ohtani chain. I mean, dude, 101, hitting 101 and hitting a 450 plus foot home run in the same night. Give him the MVP. I don't care. Just do it right now.
Also, Tim Anderson has left the game in the first inning with what appears to be, we're not trying to speculate, but it looked like he pulled something. Something, maybe his hamstring, something in his lower half.
He's my batting champ for the AL, so hopefully that doesn't last too long. But obviously we had the Nats Mets postponed. They will be back soon, but we have a question that we're all going to answer here because you guys hear a lot about us talking about our own teams. Jack loves talking about the Yankees. I love
it.
Cubs. Ori loves talking about the Orioles. But what are some other teams we like watching? What's our favorite teams to watch besides our own? And I have a feeling we'll be in agreement here. I'm gonna pick a team.
You think we're gonna agree? I mean, we didn't go over this. A lot of teams.
Didn't go. There are a lot of teams, but I have a feeling we're gonna agree. But I'll let y'all go first.
Or
Right, Jack,
no, gentlemen. I'm a gentleman. Ladies first.
All right. I am rocking the bucket hat, so I guess I will go first. Yeah. So my favorite team to watch, other than the Orioles, obviously, is the Dodgers. I love watching them because, first of all, they feature Trevor Bauer, my favorite player. Love watching him pitch. But I mean, other than that, obviously they got studs on the mound. Buehler, Clayton Kershaw. They're really, really deep at every position. I think everyone listening, and you guys too, you guys know how crazy good the Dodgers are.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to go over their roster to prove it, but I mean, they have so many exciting players, guys that if you put on another team, like you would buy a ticket to solely watch them play. Truly, like all of them are so electric. And you also have some younger guys, young prospects coming up that are also exciting. So, I mean, everything about this Dodgers team, I really like how they play. Dominant pitching, electric offense. So yeah, I got to go with the Dodgers for me.
Well, it does look like I was correct because Ori and I are in agreement. I picked the Dodgers. I mean, they're the best team in baseball, and I'd almost take everyone off that team. I'd pay a lot of money to just see Mookie Betts play baseball. He is my favorite player to watch. One of my favorite players in general. I'm an outfielder, so I love just watching what he does out there defensively and the offense. I mean, he's my NL batting champ prediction. So, just to see him play, right? It's worth it. But this whole team, so many stars. I mean, and it's like no matter what day you pick to go watch a game, right? It's going to be an ace quality starting pitcher almost. I mean, Dustin May even has the upside to be an ace in his career. Maybe even this year if he's really good. He's like their 5 starter. So this is a great team, very fun to watch. Jack, are you in agreement here with us, or are you gonna go out with another team?
I'm going with another team here, and I love the Dodgers. Like, don't get me wrong, they're a fun team to watch, but the question wasn't posed, what is the best team in the MLB? It is, what is the most fun team? And for me, that team is the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I like that. Jazz Chisholm's been so he had some base running fun this week where he
Jazz Chisholm is
so
absolutely electric. His hair is awesome. His personality is awesome. He's
is
just
that
a
the best
great
name in baseball? That's got to be the best name in baseball, is it not?
best. I mean,
Jazz,
let me think.
that's
Let
a
me
good
think.
name.
Let me think. I mean, I can think of some former players that have better names.
Yeah, I mean,
Coco Crisp. Coco
Coco
Crisp is a great name.
That is a good name. You're right.
Let me think here. Not yet. I'd say he's up there. He's definitely up there. Jazz.
Jazz, that's a good name.
Yeah, but if you just look at
that's a good name.
If you just look at their lineup, it's not as bad. Their top, like Miggy Rojas, leader, great shortstop, good hitter. Starling Marte, he's a great player. Starling Marte, he's going to hit over 300 or close to it. Maybe not over 300, but close to it.
In the realm, yeah.
He's going to get on base at a high rate. Jesus Aguilar is a monster. I love that guy. Yeah. Garrett Cooper, up and coming guy that I like watching. And their pitching is just the star of the show. Sandy Alcantara sitting there with that. They all their pitchers, like their top three, all have like that 99 to 101 mile an hour sinker, two-seamer, just disgusting. Sandy Alcantara, Sixto Sanchez is dealing with a little bit of an injury, but when he comes back, that three-headed monster of Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez, and Sixto Sanchez is just insane. And then also throw in Trevor Rogers, who's coming off, for a solid 4-starter season. If Eliezer Hernandez is hurt, but if he can come back next season and give you what he did last season, it was a short sample size, but that rotation is awesome. And watching either Sixto Sanchez, Sandy Alcantara, or Pablo Lopez pitch have to be they're right at the top of my list, over anybody but Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom, honestly, because they're just that electric.
Yeah, I mean, they're not at that level yet, but just in terms of the stuff, the potential, the youth, it's so exciting. And as I'm thinking of this, it makes me realize that the Cubs, my own team, would probably be on the bottom of this list in terms of, because when you think about it, the Cubs, our hardest throwing starter throws maybe 95. He scratches that sometimes in Adbert Alzolay. Most of our guys are ground ball pitchers, so not a lot of strikeouts, and they're a very patient team. Lots of walks from the Cubs. So, as much as I love my Cubbies, they're not that exciting. They're not that I don't want to say not that exciting, but Baez, obviously Bryant, but they're a different brand of baseball than the Marlins, the Dodgers, the Padres, and
not very good.
More old school, and I think that still has a place in this league, and it still has a place to be successful. I think it's interesting just seeing the contrast between how teams are built. I've never really thought of it too much before, but it's interesting. And now we have some other picks to make. From this week, we're going to pick a position, we're going to pick a game that we all loved from this week. We're going to pick a position player that was on fire this week and a pitcher that was doing really well. And then for next week, we're just all going to kind of highlight one series that we think you should watch or pay attention to at least. So let's start with game of the week. I will start, and I won't go too much in depth, but because we already talked about it a lot, but Burns versus Barrios is my game of the week. It was incredible. I mean, that is the definition of a perfect pitcher's duel. It's incredible. I mean, both guys had 6 no-hit innings. And the Twins only scored 2 runs to win that game, but great pitching, lots of strikeouts. So that's a fun one. Honorable mention, though. It's going on as we record. Shohei Ohtani here. I don't know, whatever he's doing, that's an honorable mention as a game of the week, just because of him. So,
yeah.
Ori, what's your game of the week?
Well, I was thinking maybe should I go Orioles, but nah. I'll go. I'll give it to the Cardinals and the Reds here, solely based off of the brawl. First one
And
of
the
the
jerseys.
season.
And the jerseys.
You gotta love the baseball fighting. I mean, I absolutely love it. You see an older veteran like Yadier Molina get on the fighting. It really gets me excited. Gets me really pumped. I loved like everything. Like there was a backstory. He had a home run, then he gets plunked.
Yeah,
Then there's a play. The play. I'm just on it. What baseball's all about, man. The bench is clearing and good old school fighting. I liked it. So that's my game of the week.
Jack, how about you?
My game of the week is Dodgers, Rockies, the Saturday game. It had a little bit of everything. Both starters gave you quality starts. Walker Buehler went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. And John Gray went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. And for me, I have a stat that I like to keep. I call it a GYT. I'm working on the name. The name is not perfect, but it's a GYTACW. GYTACW. It's called Give Your Team a Chance to Win. And it is 5 innings or more and 3 earned runs or less, because that's what I call give your team a chance to win. And I guess that's also a quality start. But, I like my own flair.
Wouldn't it be easier just to do like chance to win, CTW?
Or
I'm working on the name,
start.
Sammy. I'm working on the name.
I mean, quality start is already a stat, though, is it not?
Yeah, but I want my stat.
Wow,
Oh.
very selfish.
Yeah, I'm selfish. No, but when both starters give you at least 5 innings and at least 3 earned runs, that's a good start. Unless it's someone like your ace or something, But you will take that. You won't be upset. But So you got good starting pitching. There were still plenty of runs. 6 runs from the Dodgers, 5 runs from the Rockies. You're definitely gonna take that.
Is that the one with the
If you
inside
want
the park?
a high scoring game. There was home runs, close game. And that was also the one with the inside the park home run. So you have excitement. You have something that you don't see every day. So that's why it's my game of the week.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Now let's move to our players and pitchers of the week. I'll get started with my own. And this was my MVP pick from last year for the NL. And he's off to a great start. Too bad it wasn't last year, or else I'd be looking pretty good. But I'm going to go with Ketel Marte as my position player of the week of opening weekend. He leads the league in hits, up there with Corey Seager with 8 hits. He has 2 home runs, 615 batting average. And what I like about what Ketel Marte is doing is very aggressive. No walks. And that could be frowned upon. That could be like, oh, well, he's not drawing walks. But to start the season, I like a player who's going to go out there and just swing the bat. I like that. I admire that. And he's done it with a lot of success. He's hitting it hard. He's hit 2 home runs, as I said. So Ketel Marte is off to a phenomenal start. He is my position player of the week.
I have as my position player of the week Yermin Mercedes. He went 8. He started off his career 8 for 9. Like, that's pretty crazy. We talked about it earlier, so I'm not going to spend too much time here talking about it, but what a way to start your career.
All right. And for my player of the week, we got my boy Cedric Mullins, the center fielder, who went absolutely off in today's game, but he's been going off for this whole season. He was 5 for 5 with a walk today. He was the first player in Orioles history to have 4 hits by the end of the 4th inning. Fun fact. Wow. He had 3 doubles, 2 singles, and a walk. But on the season, he's had 9 hits, batting .692. I mean, the man is going off. Good to see a young stud on the offense for the Orioles. So that's my player of the week.
Now I have been known to pick Yankees a lot, but at least the Yankees are good.
Hey, Mullins had a good week, bro.
Hey, Mullins had a good week. listen to this. Mullins had a good week. The pitcher I'm picking, who's on the Orioles, had a great game. And the Orioles are atop the division. So
Okay.
maybe don't buy so much.
Orioles are winning the AL East. Orioles currently are winning the AL East. So you got to hang your hat on something. But
Yep.
I have as my pitcher of the week, Jose Barrios. He went in his first start of the season. We talked about it earlier, but he went 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, no hits. He had 6 no-hit innings. You literally cannot do better than that. I mean, you can't do better than that through 6 innings.
Either, I believe.
No walks either. And he had this stat was really interesting to me. Milwaukee's batted balls had an average exit velocity of 78.1 miles an hour. And for reference, the worst exit velocity among qualified hitters last season was 82.2 miles an hour. So this was actually he held Milwaukee to an average exit velo of 4 miles less than the worst hitter in all of 2020.
Wow. That's a good stat. I like that, Jack. I love the StatCast stuff.
You know, when Statboy Sammy compliments you on a stat, you did a good job.
Yeah, no, that's a fun one. I love the StatCast ones. I'm gonna go with my pitcher of the week. I don't have any of the fancy StatCast stats, unfortunately, but Zach Wheeler. Just look at the standard stats. That's all you need to look at to know how good this guy did for you. For the Phillies, who, like I said already, have been pitching their brains out. They're pitching great. But, Zach Wheeler, 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 10 strikeouts, no walks. That's what you want to see from Zach Wheeler. And, for a bullpen that's questionable, which it's looking good to start the year, but that is questionable, you want your starting pitchers to be really good. Nola's going to be good. And if you could get Wheeler to be consistently good too, that is huge for the Phillies. And they're a team that we could be sleeping on here. But Zach Wheeler, really nice outing. So he is my pitcher of the week here in this opening week. Let's see. Ori has not done his pitcher yet. So Ori, what is your pitcher of the week?
All right, so I kind of hinted at it a little bit earlier, but I'm taking my boy John Means. He was an absolute killer on opening day for the Orioles. 7 innings, only allowing 1 hit, had 5 Ks, no walks. I mean, he was just efficient. I mean, he was lights out.
Ori is not hiding his Oriole bias here today.
No. I mean,
okay,
look.
Say his stat line one more time for the people.
7 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 5 Ks.
How many
marvelous?
Runs? No earned runs.
0, no 1 hit.
Mean,
no,
that's not Orioles bias, Sammy. That's
I know, but I'm just saying his position player and his pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't choose a single Yankee, so
I'm not saying John Means does not.
Props to me for showing growth.
Yeah, props to you. I mean, Jack.
Also the Yankees just didn't play very well, so
he could have taken Gary.
I could have taken Gary. Oh, I could have taken Gary. What are you talking about? And I also, I mean, I could have taken a reliever. Mike King, Mike King, 6 innings, no runs out of the bullpen today.
All right, whatever. Well, whether you guys want to call it bias or whatever, but performance is performance.
It was bad that he had to get taken out early in the game. No offense.
Wait, so you're telling me Barrios had a perfect game and he got taken out?
It was a no-hitter, but because there's an error.
I saw that too because it looked like he had no walks.
Yeah, but he was at like 90 pitches in opening day.
Yeah. If he was at 90 pitches, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, John Means was a killer. Cedric Mullins was. I mean, I had to show off the Orioles. I don't know if we're ever gonna be this good. So I'm just gonna highlight them all I can.
That I totally understand.
Fair is fair. Fair is fair.
Finally, here, I'll do my series to watch, and we all kind of pick this one to watch. Mets and Phillies. This is going to be starting tomorrow night, 3-game set, and we've talked a lot about the Phillies. I've talked a lot about the Phillies. I mean, I like what I'm seeing from them here this opening week, but you have one of the hottest teams here to start the year, and the Mets, who had their opening series canceled against the Nationals. And so this is going to be Lindor's debut. I think we may see Carrasco's debut. I'm not sure if he's going to be starting sooner or later, but we'll get to see DeGrom. I'm very excited to see the series. The Mets are an exciting team for this year, and the Phillies are off to a good start. So if you can watch this series, I would highly recommend you do so. And before we move on to our other sports here, I have a question for you guys. And the Cubs commentators were talking about this during the game. What is your favorite stat to pronounce, to say? Like, because there are some fun ones to pronounce. There's BABIP, WOBA. I think BABIP's probably my favorite stat.
Let me think about this for a second.
What to just say?
Yeah, I don't know. They were talking about it. I thought it was interesting. There are some fun ones to say. Let
me think.
Yeah, it's I think there, isn't it?
This is a tough one.
It's got to be BABIP. I'm looking at it.
I like WOBA though. I like WOBA, and something just about the word win just rolls off the win.
Yeah.
Win.
War is a fun. War's kind of
war isn't as good as win, because win, you just I gotta go with WOBA at the end of the day, because it has the same things as win, but it's actually like a stat that matters. So
yeah, that's true.
That W that rolls off your tongue.
WOBA. Yeah,
WOBA. Maybe expected WOBA. Like an
WOBA's an audible for me.
WOBA. Yeah, that's not expected WOBA. Yeah.
I'd have to go. I mean, BABIP. I don't think you can beat that. BABIP.
Yeah, I agree with Danny here. I'm looking at all the stats.
BABIP is good. BABIP is a good one. And speaking of words that start with the letter B, let's move on now to the B-ball. Sammy, do you want to give us a recap of the games that happened since our last episode?
I do, and I'm there obviously a lot, so I'll just kind of go through some of the highlights here from this past week. The Utah Jazz were just absolutely having a blast. They're on a 9-game winning streak that has continued through this week, including a blowout versus the Magic where they beat them by 40 points. They beat the Nets, which is not an easy team to beat. I think Harden was playing that game, so even though KD's out, you still have to deal with Kyrie, Harden, LaMarcus Aldridge. That's a tough win. And then they've really been doing this defense, right? They're playing great defense. They've held teams to under 100 points 4 times on this streak. That's 4 out of 9. That's incredible. That does not happen much in this league, and the Jazz are doing it consistently. They're a tough team to beat and a team to watch in the playoffs for sure. There was also a historic blowout. The Raptors beat the Warriors by 53 points, and it's been rough for the Warriors. They're getting Steph back, but he's coming to the Warriors, who've been stone cold. They've lost 6 out of their last 7 games, only winning 1 of those, obviously, and it's just been rough for them. They really, if they want to get in the playoffs here in the West and have a chance, if they want to go into the playing games hot, they're going to have to really do better. And I'm sure Ori will be, as a 76ers fan, happy to hear this one. Joel Embiid is returning after missing the last few weeks with a knee injury. That's huge for Philadelphia. And for them to remain at the top of the conference without Embiid says something about how good that team is. So they're a great team, and like the Jazz in the West, in the East, they are the team to watch right now. And not a game news, but in contract news, Drew Holiday signed a monster extension, 4 years, $160 million. And I have to say this, I wasn't going to, but Nikola Vucevic got his first win as a Bull today. We beat the Nets, snapping a 6-game losing streak.
I mean, was that necessary?
I think it was.
Ori, was that necessary?
Not at all. Not at all.
Hey, you know what? I had to do it. Vooch.
No, you didn't.
My boy.
No, you didn't. You did not have to do it. It wasn't necessary.
I think it was very necessary.
That's like when I throw in. Yeah. So the Michael Jordan LeBron James debate is very interesting. Oh yeah, and the New York Red Bulls beat Chicago Fire 2-1. And yeah, so
I don't think it's quite that. That's significant.
No, it's not.
I think it is. Bulls about to win the rest of their games.
Okay.
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 All right. I think I'm getting a little excited. But any thoughts here on what's been happening in the National Basketball Association? How about the Jazz? I mean, what are your thoughts on them? I mean, they have been electric this year.
I'm just thinking of Jazz Chisholm now, but the Jazz have been electric. And, the question with them all season has been, I mean, they've come out hot, but can they prolong the success? Can they sustain it? Are they for real? And you can now say without a shadow of a doubt that the Jazz are for real and they're going to be serious contenders come playoff time.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we'll see how the Lakers and stuff are injury wise, but that's obviously hurt them. But I mean, I think even if the Lakers get some of their stars back, the Jazz are a deep enough team and a good enough defensive team that they can stick right with some of these other top teams. I mean, they're the top seed in the West for a reason, and they've had a few of these prolonged winning streaks. I feel like it happens every few weeks, every few months. So if they get hot at the right time in the playoffs, like they have, these past few games, it could be scary. I'll tell you, if I'm in the West, I don't want to face the Jazz. Them and the Suns are easily the two best teams out there in the West.
For sure. For sure. I think without a doubt. And is it football time? Are we moving on to the pigskin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Can we have some claps? Claps. Here we go. We are moving on to football. And Ori, I have a burning question. I've been wanting to ask this question all day long. I woke up this morning and this question was in the back of my mind. And I said, who is better to ask this question to than Ori Yachin on episode 60 of Chatter from the Cheap Seats?
Well, here.
Ori, are you ready for the question?
Yes, sir.
What is the percentage chance that the New England Football Patriots draft a quarterback in the first round?
Wow. That's a good question. That's a really, really good question.
I know it's a good question. It's a great question.
It's lower than it was, let's say, a week ago, in my opinion. I've been hearing lots of things saying that they want Garoppolo back, that they might try to trade for him. Also, they've really bought into Cam Newton. And that's pretty obvious with what they've done over free agency. And I think they're going to double down. People are saying that they're interested in trying to grab a guy like Devontae Smith or maybe Jalen Waddle, a top receiver out of this class. So, I mean, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I maybe would have said like 50-50. At this point, I would be very, very surprised if they go quarterback. If they do, they have to trade up. But I don't even know if any team is going to want to trade up. It's going to be too competitive to trade up to get a top quarterback, in my opinion. So, I mean, I'd go as high as like 90% chance they don't go grab a quarterback. Like 90, to be honest. I really don't see any future where this team grabs a quarterback in round one now.
Yeah. Now, I think if you're trying to win this year, I honestly think they shouldn't. And because a lot of these top quarterbacks in this draft class are going to be gone by the time, unless New England trades up, by the time we get to the 15th pick. And what does New England have to trade to these other teams that have top picks in the draft to get one of these quarterbacks? I don't know that they have enough to earn them a top pick. So that's a pretty big issue for me. And I don't think they're going to be able to get one of these top quarterbacks. So they're going to have to settle for someone maybe not as good. And I just don't know. I think their better route would be maybe to get a free agent. But honestly, I think they're not going to be a good team. Why don't you wait a year so you could get a top pick and a top quarterback in their draft class for next year? And maybe you use the draft pick, the 15th, to get, like Ori was saying, a Devontae Smith or a receiver who can complement Cam Newton and maybe help that team out a little bit. But I don't think you're going to compete no matter what. So why don't you just wait to have a really bad year, get like a top pick so you could get a really, really good quarterback? And I don't know if I'm making too much sense here, but
You're making sense. I would say if you do draft a quarterback, you got to trade up and take Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, whichever one you're feeling. You gotta trade up because you're not gonna get one at 15. So I'd say a 30% chance because we know that Bill Belichick doesn't trade up to number one or doesn't draft quarterbacks in the first round. Yeah. But that just might be because they've been so good in the past couple years.
Brady, I mean,
yeah, but no, I'm saying draft quarterbacks in the first round. Oh yeah. No,
I would draft quarterbacks in the first round.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you all have been waiting for. I have gotten thousands and thousands of DMs on Instagram, chatter_cheapseatspod. Or no, just chatter from the cheap seats. TikTok, chatter_cheapseatspod. We even got a voicemail about it, Sammy. We got a voicemail about that. And if you want to leave a voicemail.
Got a voicemail? Wow.
If you want to leave a voicemail, you can do that at 202-743-1767. And all these, what?
What's this voicemail?
They all said the same thing. When is Ori's Amazon product of the day coming back? When is it coming back? Ori has been gone for so long. When he comes back, will there be an Ori's Amazon product of the day? And I answer with an emphatic yes. He is back this week. This week is the newest episode, newest segment of Chatter from the Cheap Seats, and that always comes along with Ori's Amazon product of the day. Take it away.
All right. It's been a doozy on this podcast, and we are gonna finish it with the best segment, Amazon product of the day. As Jack was saying, I hear you guys. I know you guys want the product of the day, so I'm gonna give it to you. So I'm gonna set the scene. I have been influenced pretty heavily from going to Florida. I really liked the outdoors, the really nice weather. So keep that in mind, and that's kind of where my head was with this product. And for all of you guys, this is a human product, not a dog.
Oh, that's how you know you're getting a good one.
Human product here, and it is called the grass flip-flops. The grass flip-flops are flip-flops that instead of like a floor for your foot to go on, it's
you're cutting
like
out
actual like turf like
Ori,
grass.
Ori, you're cutting out.
What?
You cut out.
I'm cutting out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been cutting out a lot.
Oh no! All right, I'm gonna start again.
Wait. Where were the mistakes? There was a mistake at Gonzaga. No, but yeah, there was a mistake at Gonzaga. And what were the other mistakes?
I don't think we've made too many mistakes. I think.
Well, Jack, you cut out
connection issues that we've been having.
Yeah, I'll just listen to the whole episode. Double check, but whenever you're ready, buddy.
All right, guys. So as Jack was saying, we have heard your pleas for Amazon products of the day, and I'm gonna give it to you. So to set the scene, I've been, down in Florida, nice weather. Been going outside a lot, going outside barefoot. I like feeling grass on my feet, so I thought this was the perfect product.
That's got to be a drop.
Yeah, it's
I like feeling grass on my feet.
Yeah, you gotta like the grass on your feet,
I'm not a fan, but
you're not a fan.
Oh, Sammy.
Oh, Sammy.
But it's gotta be like good grass. Like it can't be like high itchy grass. It's gotta be
obviously
clean. It's gotta be like a putting green. Like barefoot. Oh my god. Or even like the fringe on a golf course. Like good clean cut grass.
Solid grass.
Solid grass.
Solid grass.
MLB ballpark cut grass.
Yeah. Like the outfield.
Yes.
In an MLB ballpark grass. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is kind of the inspiration for this product, and it's pretty crazy. So we got something called the grass flip-flops. So instead of having a foam sole where you put your foot on, it is grass-like turf that you actually put your foot on instead, and it's as if you're walking on grass when you're actually wearing flip-flops. This product comes in at a whopping $17.28 American US dollars. So, you are paying money, but you're going to be able to walk on grass with shoes on. That's pretty crazy.
What are the ratings?
Yeah. So as always, let's hear your prediction, guys. What out of 5 does this product get on Amazon?
I'm gonna give it like a 3. I have a feeling I'm gonna give it a 3.
Now,
Okay.
this could go both ways. This could either be a 5 or like a 2. Because if it's like a well-made flip-flop, I think this is an incredible product and it's going to be a 5. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was like a flimsy, like falling apart, novelty item. Could be like a 2. But anybody that gets this product, if it's well put together, immediate 5. And I'm just going to give my 4.5 buffer. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's a 2, but I'm going to go 4.5.
All right, Jack, you win. It's 4.3 out of 5. I will say
I'm the best.
All the 1-star ratings and like the lower ratings are that it falls apart, it's flimsy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, seems like it's getting a lot of good reaction. 4.3 out of 5, that's pretty high rated. I want to get your thoughts because I think walking on grass is pretty genius. In a flip-flop, I really like it. The design is pretty nice. What do you think about it, Sammy? You seem a little apprehensive about the product.
No, I mean I like it. I think it's a nice product. I mean, I think my experiences with walking on grass have mostly been like higher, itchy grass. So I haven't had as much experience like that nice, like really clean cut grass. But I mean, I would imagine that's a nice feeling. So
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
yeah. So I mean, why not make flip flops that you can simulate that. So I think it's good. If it's flimsy, that's a big issue though. Flimsy
Oh no, yeah,
flops are the
I agree.
worst thing ever
Very true.
that's ever
Very
happened to humankind, possibly. I mean,
Agreed.
it's up
Agreed.
there.
It's up there. And with that will do it for Chatter from the Cheap Seats, episode 60. We have made it so far. Please, please, please leave a 5-star rating and review if you haven't already. And Ori, any final words from you, my friend?
Good to be back. Happy to be doing this again. Want to thank you guys for listening all the way till the end, and gonna definitely keep rocking this bucket hat for a while.
Yeah, I do like the pink bucket hat from Ori, but yeah, another fun episode. 60 episodes. That's pretty cool. 60. Yeah, that's a big number. But yeah, I
Big number.
to keep watching more Cubs games, more Bulls games, and then talking about them with you. Hopefully, it'll be positive things. But who knows what's in store for next week? But yeah, definitely follow us on all of our socials. Leave us a 5-star review, all that fun stuff. But yeah, thanks for listening to the end. You guys are the best people that have ever existed. And yeah, have a good day.
You guys are the best people that have ever existed. Sammy Krimstein, Jack Feldman. I love that. And we'll see you guys next time on Chatter from the Cheap Seats. Ori, take us out.
Bye.